gorgeous. Today we're going to talk about how to simplify our coaching and solopreneur businesses to bring beauty out of complexity in 2020 and beyond. Let's get to it. Welcome to the Powerhouse. Vanessa Long here, coach, trainer, and creator of Discovering Your Passionate Purpose, the Seasons of Success, and the Powerhouse Business Academy. It's time for your mojo moment in which I share one of my favorite quotes and then give you at least one power tip to take the inspiration and make it practical right away. For regular motivation and inspiration, make sure you click subscribe and ring that bell so you get notified when we upload new content, which is every week. Our quote today comes from Dare to Matter by Pete Smith. Whoa. And on page 6, Pete says, "The beauty of living a significant life exists in its simplicity." We often find ways to make the simple confusing. We become mesmerized with bigger words, deeper thoughts, and intellectual theories. That is such a powerful quote, and there are 4 things that I want to pull out of it. Number 1 is that we live in a complexifying society. Most people are far too busy and very overloaded. There is so much information coming at us every moment of every day. Most of us are glued to our smartphones and our screens, and we're consuming new ideas and ways of doing things all the time. And that is overwhelming. And it can actually lead us to shut down because we're never sure if we have the best way to move forward with what we want to accomplish. And this applies to our solopreneur and coaching businesses as well. We have seen so many different business models and so many different ways of getting to success that we try to bring them all in. We want to be on every social media platform and we want to be active all the time because we've been told that being active all the time and talking about all the things is the way to success. And that is freaking overwhelming. And that brings us to number 2. And number 2 is actually from Tara Moore's book, Playing Big, which I'll be talking about in a few weeks. And in her book, she identifies over-complexifying or over-complicating as a subtle form of self-sabotage. You see, when we're trying to make everything perfect and we're bringing in more and more and trying to incorporate all the things so that it's perfect, this is actually a way to sabotage ourselves to stay small and hidden because it will never be perfect. And if we're waiting to launch or waiting to move forward on our projects or our visibility or our advertising and marketing until it's perfect, we will never go anywhere and we'll never be seen. And that means we won't make the money that we want to make in our businesses. And it's something I've had to be really aware of and become very aware of over the last year because I can see where my clients are holding back, not taking those steps forward because they're waiting for it to be perfect. They're overcomplicating and overcomplexifying their strategies instead of just taking a big breath, pulling up their big girl panties and doing the thing that scares the crap out of them, which is stepping out and being visible. And the way that I know that this is happening is because I totally get it. Being visible is really scary for me as well. And it's something that I've been moving through over the last few years and taking bigger and bigger steps to be seen. And that's what we all need to do to succeed in the online space with our solopreneur businesses. I used to joke about being this super secret in your back pocket ninja coach. And I was proud of that. I was proud that I was making 6 figures and I was doing what I was doing and nobody knew who I was. When people would ask on Facebook about who's the mindset guru you follow or who's the person who does this that you follow, nobody mentioned me. Why? Because nobody knew who I was. But I was still running a 6-figure coaching business because my clients knew who I was and they referred me out. What I decided though was that I needed to have a bigger impact and I needed to be seen in order to do that. And that's what this is all about, is simplifying so that you can step out and be visible to more people to have that bigger impact. So number 3, about this idea of simplifying versus over-complexifying, and is that even a word? If it isn't, I've totally made it up and it's nobody else's fault, but it's a word now and I'm totally going to use it. So this idea of over-complexifying also ties into our feelings of self-esteem and self-worth, like the who am I to be doing this? Who am I to be showing up? Who am I to be coaching people? Who am I to be talking about money or marriage or health or whatever it is that you're talking about, whatever it is that your soul is calling you to talk about? You probably have those little demons chirping away on your shoulder saying, you don't know enough and you don't have enough training. And we live in a culture that encourages that. We live in a culture that has been created by marketing, and that marketing is created to make us consume more. Right? So it's actually to our culture's advantage to convince us that we don't know enough, that we're not far enough along, that we aren't who we need to be yet. And yes, training is important. Being accountable is important. Being in a community of like-minded people is important. In fact, in the description, I've linked my training, 3 essential things you need to build a successful, sustainable, and profitable coaching business. Why? Because, there is stuff that you need to know in order to be successful. And you don't need to wait to start until you've finished all that training. Waiting to start and spinning, that is not healthy. And that is actually part of the culture that we live in, that everyone's waiting to begin, except the people who are winning. And I want you to be one of those people who are winning. So let's get started now with moving you toward your dreams. So the 4th point that I want to bring up about this whole idea of overcomplicating or over-complexifying is this. It is so easy to get broad, to spread your resources too thin. I've been a full-time NLP coach and trainer since 2011. And in that time, I've created dozens of trainings for my clients. And just a couple of years ago, I put them all up on my website and I was so happy because I was like, it's like a candy store and you can go in and you can choose exactly what you want and exactly what you need. And it hasn't worked. Why? Because it's too complicated. It's too complex. It requires people to know what they're missing. And well, kind of the definition of not knowing what you're missing is that you don't know what you're missing. It's outside your comfort zone. It's in the gap between your competency and where you're meant to be. So one of the best things that you can do for your solopreneur coaching business is to simplify. I know we talk all the time about niching down, about choosing your target market, about getting really narrow. And there are ways to do that where it doesn't feel like you're cutting off all these parts of yourself, where you really get to shine in your mission and your purpose. And you do need to make it simple for people to start with you. This is the core idea of branding and marketing. I have had a struggle getting simple because I like stuff. I like to make sure that everybody knows that I have all the things, but that doesn't work. You've got to get really narrow. You've got to say, here is the one thing you need. Here is the one thing that you're missing that will take you to that next step. We don't need to show our clients the entire journey. We just need to show them the next step. And then we can show them the next. If we light up the whole path, they're gonna get overwhelmed. It's too complex, it's too complicated. Let's bring it back down and focus on one thing and master it. Because when we master it, that's when we get that simplicity, and that's when we get that significance, and that's when we get that beauty. And that's what we're really looking for. What's your nugget of gold today? What did you learn, realize, or remember that you're going to be able to use right away? Where's one place that you've been over-complexifying that you're like, oh, I could totally simplify this and I can see how I can do it? Let me know in the comments so I can cheer you on. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it out with your powerhouse peers, and if you haven't already, click that subscribe button. And if you're feeling super keen, ring that bell so that you get notified when we upload new content, which is every week. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below and I will definitely respond. And if you have any ideas for videos, let me know that too and I will totally hook it up. For those of you Mojo Masters who know to hang around until the end of the video, here is your bonus power tip. Beauty is a visceral experience that you can learn to discern. Oh, what do I mean by that? Most of the time in our businesses, we are stuck in hustle. We are in the grind. We are moving fast. We are just trying to get through as much as possible, to get as much content out, to get as much done in a day. We are just moving as fast as we can, treading water, trying to stay afloat. That is not beautiful. Because there is no stillness inside of you, you aren't able to discern. In other words, you aren't able to really see and feel when you've got it nailed. But when you've got something nailed, when you stay with it long enough to get that level of mastery of going, this is good. Like, this is so good. You can feel it in your body. Everything that just kind of aligns, it clicks into place. I talk about divine alignment and cellular congruence. You can feel it in every part of your being. One of the big things that I work with my clients on is really learning how to slow down, to focus on what is essential and let everything else fall away. You do not have to do everything to make your solopreneur or coaching business work. You have to do just a few things exceptionally well. You have to develop mastery in them. And that's why I've linked my free training, 3 essential things you need to do to build a successful, sustainable, and profitable coaching business. Sign up, take a look. It'll walk you through these 3 areas that I think we as coaches and solopreneurs who are here to help and serve really need to focus on. I'll also talk about what you don't need to focus on in the beginning when you're just looking at making, your first 50, 60, 70K. So that's in the description. Sign up and I'll see you in the training. When you get focused, when you get small, when you slow down, when you pick this one thing and you say, I'm gonna nail this, I'm gonna make this beautiful and I'm gonna put a bow on it. What happens is you start to build this powerful momentum because instead of just skating across thin ice where everything is just kind of barely hanging together and it's kind of working, but it's kind of not, and you're like, no, it'll work. That creates this feeling of anxiety and insecurity inside of us. Slowing down, getting focused, putting a bow on it, staying with it until it makes you happy, like until it brings you joy. That is the key to building powerful momentum as a solopreneur. It actually takes more time in the long run to deal with broken systems all the time than really slowing down and getting really good at something right now so that you don't have to worry about it going forward. Develop these feelings of mastery and you will start to see more results, better results, more beauty and more significance. You'll feel like instead of just running hard and hustling and grinding, you're actually starting to build a legacy. You're starting to create something that really matters. And since I'm all about building with the end in mind, let's make sure that we are doing that. And the only way we can do it is to slow down and stay really present. And this is what I believe we need to focus on going into 2020 and going forward, because this is what will really create a transformation in our lives and our businesses instead of just more of the same hustle and grind. And that's it for today's video. That is your Mojo moment. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.